I was 13 when I fell asleep. No one noticed. There were 7 of us kids, and I was just kind of forgotten. My mother was probably relieved that I was out of the way and not adding to the chaos. But one day I just turned inward. I mean, I still had to do stuff. Still had to go to school, make my bed, eat dinner with the family. But I was asleep. I was grappling with the darkness, with the aloneness. And I was alone in there, and I was basically alone on the outside, too. I mean, if I'd cried out for help, maybe. If I'd had someone paying attention. It was horrible, the darkness. But eventually, it got kind of numbing. And then sort of comforting. I got used to living there. Living in the darkness. And then I learned to see in the dark. Now that was something. I dreamed. That was something too. I fought myself. And I solved puzzles, and I answered riddles, I sorted buttons, I fished for colors, I faced battles, and slept in the woods, and made friends with animals. Side note, animals may look cute, but they're dirty and rude, and they shit all over the place. Then I woke up. It was not an attractive process. There was no kiss. No castle just waiting for me to wake up so they could attend on me. No one chopped down the barrier of thorns that grew up around me while I slept. I had to chop those down myself. Finally got out of the darkness and bloodied myself on the awakening. And my eyes. They were so used to the darkness that the daylight literally hurt my head. I had to figure out how to use them in the light again. I still squint sometimes. So when it was time for me to give my great-granddaughter her christening blessing, I told everyone she would die, so they'd notice when she fell asleep. They'd pay attention. How did I know she would fall asleep? I know things. Now, when I spoke the quote-unquote curse, I did not anticipate the 24/7 wake watch on the poor girl. I brought along my bag. I was ready to teach her, to prepare her, to accompany her if needed. I mean, if I could help her get through the darkness unscathed, well, as unscathed as possible, then my time there would have been worth it. It would have meant something. I suppose that was selfish. It did mean something. I figured we'd all prepare her for this journey, and she would fall asleep and figure out she wasn't dead and do the freaking journey and wake up when she was ready, and everything would be fine. She'd have the tools and she'd triumph. But no, they banished me. And then spent the entirety of her childhood, the fun time, freaking out about the dying part. I guess that was my fault. It was too dramatic. I should have just laid it out simply, but who would believe me? No one listens to me except that one day, the one time they pay attention to me. And then what's her name? The little fairy. She meddled just enough to threaten the outcome. The kiss thing? I mean, sure, it sounds good. In theory, we all want true love. We all want someone to force their way through our thorny boundaries and see us there all vulnerable and think, yeah, I want to kiss that lady with sleep drool coming out of her mouth and spiders nesting in her hair. We want someone to take one look at us and go, yeah, I've got to get with that. But there is a different kind of danger with that kind of thing. I mean, just because someone helps you up, just because someone wakes you up, doesn't mean you owe that person your life. The person who saves you from drowning is often just passing by. You don't have to marry them. And don't get me started on the whole happily ever after thing. What a bunch of hazardous baloney. I suppose I should be glad that she won't emerge alone. I never did reintegrate. The things you learn there in that deep internal space, the darkness, it leaves a mark. I don't know, maybe the kiss will counter that. Maybe that little fairy knows something I don't. Anyways, to answer your question, I think she'll survive now that she's died.